I joined WAC, I actually now provide the students with more writing assignment, and the way that I use writing assignment in my teaching actually have two main purposes. One is for make the students actually become better writers, and secondly, and I consider also very important for a physics and for a science class, is to use it as a tool for them to understand and to reinforce new concepts in physics.
Enormously rewarding as a process. It's quite time consuming. The efforts are well spent, and you really don't lose anything. There's nothing you can possibly lose. You can only gain, for all the reasons that I said, the collaboration, the interdisciplinary exchange or cross-disciplinary exchange, and the chance to really, to talk well with somebody who is invested in your course about the details is just so unusual for an extended period of time. Not that we don't have chats with our colleagues about our courses, but to sit week after week with somebody who knows your course well, knows what you're trying to do, and will talk with you about process is a rare experience. I mean,
it was the constant dialogue, it was the constant looking at my assignments, it was the constant examining why I want to do this, why do I want to do this for myself, why do I want to do this for the students writing to improve, why would I want to do this type of exercise and not another type of exercise. So yes, within myself I had to look at why this was important. If I can't sell myself, I certainly can't sell a student as to why writing professionally is very important.
Because I wanted to improve my ability to create effective assignments. I've never thought of that as a particular strength of mine, and I wanted to concentrate on the student's experience in getting an assignment and what it would be like for the student to try to work through an assignment that perhaps wasn't well worded, or perhaps didn't give the student an approach to the assignment within it.
Better if they've had the opportunity to read the material and then to write it down in whatever fashion, whether it's formal or informal writing. And then we discuss it, and then they usually see the material again, either in a revised version, when they revise their papers, or when they see the same broad topic on a final exam, things like that.
The specificity, I would say the level of specificity with your language, with the language of the syllabus, with the language of your different prompts, and then also in terms of setting up a system of always giving substantial feedback before the final paper is due. Because in my classes that I've taught previously, we always do peer review, and we have the students go to the writing center and meet with the writing center tutor. And for the research paper, maybe I'll give them some substantial feedback before they do a final draft. But with this WI class, I set it up so that each of the major assignments, they're getting feedback from me, and then they have a week to revise it and bring it back.
Taking English 110 doesn't mean that all the issues are solved. I have learned to communicate clear expectations to the students regarding priorities, because you tell them some punctuation issues, some grammar issues, some content issues, some chemistry understanding issues, some lab report structure issues, they don't know what is more important for me. So this has been a great learning process for us. So let's prioritize and don't overwhelm them with things that are not equally important.
To change the balance of the grading system so that you're not carrying your grade on the test. You're carrying the grade on what you can communicate to me.
Probably the most rewarding thing for me has been seeing the students really understand that the whole writing process is not about the grammar is of course very important, that has improved as well, but just they're warming up to the process of writing. That for you to become a good writer, you have to be very honest, you have to be very open, you have to be willing to say whatever it is that you're thinking, go ahead and say it. There's no right and wrong about what it is that you're saying.
So for many students, our students everywhere, Writing is a scary process. Writing can be very daunting, and the greatest fear is of that blank white screen pulsating at you. And so I think that thinking about writing as a series of smaller steps that are lower pressure, using low stakes writing, has allowed students to realize that they do have something to say, and they have this foothold in a text or a topic. And so then they're able to use that and say, oh, I already have words on paper. I don't just have that blank white screen. You know, one frequent thing students say is, I just don't know how to start my paper. And then you say, well, you already have a thesis that you just brainstormed, and it really wasn't that big of a deal, actually.
Very good example of how I've been using, or how I actually have WAC influence in my teaching is lab reports. You know, the student, before actually joining WAC, the way that actually I saw the lab report was, well, the student actually need to present and they need to summarize the scientific results, but I never actually really emphasized on the writing component of the lab reports. But after I joined WAC, I started building up, you know, on the student those skills in terms of writing and communication. Then it's very fascinating to see how the student, along the semester, you compare their writing at the beginning, at the middle, and then at the end of the semester, how they really actually improve a lot in terms of clarity, be more effective,